So what do we do with objections, which often feel like rejections? An objection is not a rejection, but what do we often do with objections? The human trait that most people default to is when somebody has an objection, we tend to feature dump. Well, let me tell you why all of these reasons, why what you think is not accurate. And that doesn't always work with most people. They don't usually need more features to say, oh, now I see the value. Oh, now I understand where you're coming from. Occasionally, if we didn't do a great job of explaining that value up front, but if you have exhausted all of the explanation and shared all of the value and somebody has an objection, then I want to share these 5 steps with you on how to work through and hopefully overcome that objection. We want to analyze the situation, and we start with asking. We want to, instead of feature dumping, we want to analyze that situation. So we'll start with acknowledging the objection. So you're going to say, so you can start off with, let me make sure I understand, and then rephrase, acknowledging that objection. Did I get that right? And then listen. Don't interrupt. Don't paraphrase for them. Just listen. And when you think they're done, give them an additional second or 2, and they might continue going. And then, once they've said all they've said, that's when you can paraphrase. So you can clarify the objection. We cannot move on from the objection until there is clarification of the objection. And that brings us to being able to isolate that objection. If we were able to figure out a way around this, let's use an example. The objection is commission. They don't want to pay X dollars that you've asked for on that listing agreement. And they've heard all of these things in the news, and they don't think that they should have to pay that. They don't understand, and they don't agree with it. You can isolate once you've gotten clarity. So you're going to start off by acknowledging that objection and ask, let me make sure I understand, and then listen to their objection. If it's all about how much they're paying you for your services and they're not happy with that, then gain clarity. Is it just about the commission for me, or is it about how much or is it that you're uncomfortable about it cutting into your net proceeds? And if they say, yes, my net proceeds, that's really what it's about. Well, now you and them have clarity on the objection. Now you can move forward. And now we can isolate the objection. So now you know it's not really about how much you're earning after all of doing your hard work, everything from marketing to the 1,000,002 steps it takes to get it to a successful closing, but it's really about their net proceeds. Now you can isolate it about the net proceeds. And through that, you're going to provide your answer. So it might look like this. All right, Mr. Seller, I understand your objection about the X commission. And I understand that you're concerned that it's going to cut into your net proceeds. Did I get all of that correct? And when you have agreement, then you can provide your answer because you've isolated that objection. Now you can provide your answer. When we first started the conversation, you told me what was most important to you, and then reiterate what was most important. Moving to North Carolina to be near your new grandkids, relocating in time to start your job and get settled into your new home. Whatever that thing is about why they are motivated to sell. And sometimes it's just about the money. So you've got there, this is what you told me was important. And when we first started talking, I had shared with you that you were looking at a potential of net proceeds of $417,000 after cash to close. So commissions, your standard closing costs as a seller, and anything that comes in that might need to be addressed, maybe some repairs that are required by the buyer or something else that we agree upon. And you had agreed that $417,000 was a great net for you. Has anything changed there? And if he says, no, I'm really excited about $417,000. Well, what I'm going to do is market, negotiate, and fight for this sales price where I get compensated fairly as we agree upon here, and you get your net proceeds of at least $417,000. If we're able to accomplish all of that with a seamless transaction in the amount of time that you have chipped out for this to get you to your relocation job, your grandkids before they arrive, whatever the thing is that is their motivator, their why for selling, then you can ask, would you be satisfied with would you be satisfied and comfortable signing this listing agreement? So now you've removed it about the dollar amount for the professional sales fee. Now it's about them and their net and their goals. So that's just one example on how to acknowledging the objection, clarifying the objection, isolating it, because sometimes they think that there's 14 things there, but it really boils down to like this one thing, and then providing your answer. Once you've provided your answer, you can re-close or tie down it again and say, if this, then that. If we can get you the net proceeds that you are seeking, would you be comfortable with this listing agreement? And when they say yes, now you can sign on the dotted line. If they say no, you might have to work through an additional objection or get a deeper clarification of their objection because there's something else in there. Maybe they think, if Mr. Seller says there's no reason for you to make $30,000, then we've got to do a better job of explaining where all of that goes. The marketing costs, the professional photographer, the stager, the splitting of commissions with a brokerage, with another agent, with all of the things that it goes to. Mr. Seller, no one's retiring off of the sale of your home here. So sometimes they need clarification of where that all gets divvied up and goes. And then they go, oh, okay, I'm seeing things through a different filter. Information is really important, and sometimes we don't give enough of it for people to make the right decision. So don't feel worried or uncomfortable about sharing where all of that gets split to kind of defend your professional fee. It's that important. So hope this is a good overview for you on the steps it takes to help overcome an objection. I encourage you to practice it on the people in your life because perfect practice definitely makes it. I encourage you to practice it on the people in your life. More practice makes it easier to work through this system.